Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some MLB player props I like for today on Prizepicks for Monday, August the 15th. We do have a fairly big Monday slate. I think we have 14 total games today. We do have one early game as part of a doubleheader, but we got a full night slate of games, so there's a lot to choose from. Prizepicks did already post their pitcher prop board pretty early. It's actually 10 Eastern time, 10 o'clock Eastern time when I'm making this video. Usually I don't get to make these videos till like 1 or 2 a.m. But it's definitely nice that Prizepicks got their board up early. So we're going to talk through some plays I like for today. I got 3 props I like. I was able to find a lot that stood out. This board right now, the pitcher props at least, there was a lot that I liked. Obviously, I'm not going to give out a ton of plays in this video just because I do want to save some stuff for my Patreon members. But I got 3 plays I like at first look, so we're going to talk through the 3 plays that I like for today, guys. Just before we do get started, as always, please hit that like button down below. Appreciate you guys checking out these videos every day. Hit that subscribe button as well if you have not yet. And also check out Prizepicks if you are new here, and if you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, definitely get over there, sign up. Make sure when you sign up, use promo code NOAH, and Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. Prizepicks, they're a little bit of a different player prop platform. They're not like your traditional sports book. There's no odds, there's no juice or anything on Prizepicks. You're just betting, over or under. You make your selections, and then it's a fixed payout pretty much. So no matter what you choose, over or under, you're getting the same payout for everything. So if you can find some plays that you feel really good about, or that you think have very good odds to hit, you should obviously be playing those, because on Prizepicks it doesn't matter what the odds are, they all pay out the same, which is one of the reasons I like Prizepicks. Sometimes you can find some really good odds on some plays, and on a sports book, if you're betting those odds, you're going to get, obviously there's going to be juice you have to pay. You're not going to get paid out the same on Prizepicks. It's all the same payout. So check them out, sign up, use promo code NOAH. We're going to be uploading Prizepicks videos up until September, and then obviously when September gets here, when the NFL regular season starts, I'm super excited for NFL season. We're going to be uploading NFL videos covering player props for obviously the full Sunday slate of games, and we're also going to make videos for the primetime games. So for Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, don't know yet about Sunday Night Football, but definitely Monday Night, Thursday Night Football, we're going to make specific videos for those games, covering player props that I like for those games, and then obviously, again, the full Sunday slate, we'll have a video posted for that as well. So MLB season's kind of slowly starting to wind down, and we're kind of getting closer and closer to NFL season. Not sure yet when NFL gets here if I'll still be making MLB videos or not. Maybe on the days where we don't have football, I'll make MLB videos, but super excited for NFL season. Obviously you guys should definitely be planning on Prizepicks. NFL season's right around the corner. I'm sure Prizepicks is going to be running a ton of promos for NFL season. They already have some props up for week 1 of the NFL season, so you can check all that out if you're interested. But before we get started, one more thing, guys. We will recap our plays from Saturday. I did not make a video for Sunday, but I did make a video for Saturday, and we only gave out 2 plays Saturday, and it was not a good day. Saturday was definitely not the best day, because we went 0-2 on the 2 plays we gave out. We took over 6.5 strikeouts for Shane McClanahan, and man, I felt so good about that bet. McClanahan, his line actually bumped all the way up to 7.5. But McClanahan just did not have a good start. I think he only finished with like 3 or 4 strikeouts. It was a really good matchup against the Orioles. It's a spot I would have bet 100 times out of 100. Just so happens, unfortunately, that this day, it didn't work out. McClanahan kind of struggled. I will say that he has been pitching kind of poorly lately. That might be something I have to look more into, but I would have made that bet 100 times out of 100. Even though it didn't hit, I like that we got his line at 6.5. It obviously bumped all the way up to 7.5. So we got some really good value, some really good odds on that, and it just didn't work out. And then we also took the over on Jesus Luzardo's fantasy score, and that was a super just unfortunate situation, because Luzardo was actually pitching pretty well. Through 3 innings, he had 5 strikeouts, no runs. He literally had 24 fantasy points through 3 innings, and we only needed 27 fantasy points from Luzardo. And then I think it was the 4th inning, he gave up 3 runs in the 4th inning, and just after he gave up those 3 runs, it was going to be really hard for him to get to the fantasy score that he needed to. He couldn't get through the 6th inning. He couldn't get the quality start. So it is what it is, man. I think Luzardo finished with like 21 after having 24 fantasy points through 3 innings. So tough day Saturday, but we're gonna move on to today's slate. Feel pretty good about today's slate. Hopefully we can hit all 3 of these plays. But let's go ahead and talk through them. I got 3 props I like, and they're all gonna be pitcher fantasy score props. So the first play that we're gonna talk about, we got some aces in pretty good spots today, and one guy that I do like for today is going to be Garrett Cole, and I'm going to be taking Garrett Cole's over 44.5 fantasy points going up against the Rays. Now, I know this number is really, really high. I'm pretty sure it's the highest fantasy score on the board, but it's warranted, man. Garrett Cole's obviously a really good pitcher with a ton of upside. He's one of the best pitchers in the league with a ton of strikeout stuff, 32.5% K rate this year, which is in the top 6% in the league. And this is a matchup that just sets up so well for Garrett Cole. The Rays are a team that will strike out a ton. If you look at where they rank versus right-handed pitching this season, Tampa Bay has the 5th highest K rate on the season, 24.5%. And so far this year, Garrett Cole has dominated against the Rays. So he has faced Tampa Bay 3 times. His most recent start against Tampa Bay, he went 7 1/3 innings with 12 strikeouts and finished with 59 fantasy points. Then he faced Tampa Bay a start before that, went 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, had 49 fantasy points. And then he faced Tampa Bay again early in the season, back on, let's see where it was. He faced them again on May 28th, and he went 6 innings with 10 Ks, 49 fantasy points. So Garrett Cole has faced Tampa Bay 3 times this season. He scored 49, 49, and 59 fantasy points in those 3 starts. He just seems to have Tampa Bay's number. They just can't seem to hit him. Even if Cole has struggled against Tampa Bay this year, I wouldn't care. I don't think that would have got me off this prop. The matchup is just so good. The Tampa Bay offense is just not good. They don't really put up many runs. They're not an offense that you fear, and they strike out a ton as well. So the upside is definitely there for Garrett Cole. We know he's a guy that's always going to pitch pretty deep into games. He's going to go 6, 7 innings. I mean, he's gone at least 6 innings, and just looking at his game log, it looks like 12 straight starts now. Garrett Cole has gone 6 innings. Might be, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, yeah, 11 straight starts. Garrett Cole has pitched at least 6 innings. And he's recorded a quality start in 8 of those 11 starts. I feel like a quality start's very likely here. 6 innings, 7 or 8 strikeouts. Maybe he gives up 1 or 2 runs, but I think 6 innings with 7 or 8 Ks potentially could get a win too. I mean, anytime Cole steps on the mound, you feel good about him getting a win just because he has such a good lineup behind him. The Yankees, I know they haven't been hitting the ball as well lately, but they're still a team that normally is able to put up a lot of runs, especially at home in Yankee Stadium. So if Cole can get a win too, that should definitely put him over, put him 45 fantasy points or more. I'm just going to target the friendly matchup here. The talent of Cole in this spot, he should be able to dominate, should be able to rack up strikeouts. And I like his over 44.5 fantasy points. I was looking at his K prop for today. His K prop's currently set at 8.5. I have a hard time seeing Garrett Cole get 9 strikeouts but not get 45 fantasy points. I mean, he's done it before. One of his most recent starts against the Royals, he got 9 strikeouts but only finished with 30 fantasy points because he gave up 5 runs. I don't feel like this is a spot where we should expect Cole to give up 5 runs, so that's kind of why I like his over fantasy points instead of Ks. And I could definitely see him not getting 9 strikeouts but still getting 45 fantasy points. So I kind of side with fantasy points instead of strikeouts, but honestly, Cole should just dominate here. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over both Ks and fantasy points for today. But then our other play, going to go down a little bit more towards one of these later games. 2 more fantasy score props I like. This one's we're gonna talk about Julio Urias, and for Urias, we're gonna be taking his over 36.5 fantasy score going up against the Brewers. The Brewers, they're a team I've been targeting all year with lefty against, when they face a left-handed pitcher because they have really struggled against lefties this year. If you look at where Milwaukee ranks against left-handed pitching, 3rd highest K rate in the league, 25% K rate, which is only behind the Marlins and the Pirates. And if you look at where their offensive numbers rank, they've been actually pretty bad against left-handed pitching. We wouldn't think of the Brewers lineup as being bad. The Brewers have a solid lineup, but against lefties this year, they have really struggled. They have the 3rd worst batting average. In terms of on-base percentage, they're they're in the bottom 10 in on-base percentage. They're 26th in slugging. In terms of OPS, Milwaukee is 25th. ISO, they rank, see where Milwaukee ranks in ISO. They're bottom 10 in ISO. WRC plus, they rank, see where are they at in WRC plus. They rank 25th in that category. So they're pretty much bottom 10 in just about every offensive metric against lefties. And they have the 3rd highest strikeout rate. So there's definitely a lot of upside available for Urias in this matchup. Urias is, really good pitcher. He's been pitching really well lately. I know he's had some tougher matchups lately, like against the Twins. He went 7 innings, 8 Ks, had 52 fantasy points. Against the Giants, he had 46 fantasy points. He had 43 fantasy points. He faced the Giants again, 52 fantasy points against the Angels. He has not faced the Brewers yet this season, but you would think in this spot, with how much the Brewers have struggled against lefties this year, this should definitely be a spot where Urias is able to, I would say, dominate. Is he going to go out there and throw a complete game shutout? Probably not, but I think 6 or 7 innings with 5, 6 strikeouts, maybe 1 or 2 runs allowed, that feels like a pretty good projection for Urias. And if he goes Like, let's say he goes 6 innings with 6 strikeouts and 1 run allowed. That would put him at 37 fantasy points. 6 innings, 6 Ks, 1 run allowed. That's 37 fantasy points, which would obviously put him over his projection. And that feels pretty like doable for Urias. But he could go like 6 innings, 7 Ks, 2 runs. That would still put him over. He could go 6 innings, pitch a shutout with 5 Ks. That would put him over. He could also get a win here. Right now, I don't know if we have. Let me see if we have odds on this game. So right now, the Dodgers are minus 170 money line favorites. Freddie Peralta is going to be pitching for the Brewers, and Freddie Peralta by no means is he a bad pitcher. But anytime the Dodgers are pretty much going to be favored almost every game they play, and there's always a good chance that Urias is able to get a win. Urias has gotten a win now in 5 straight games, so if he gets a win, that's 6 additional points. That's even better for us. I like this fantasy score because I think this is with how much the Brewers have struggled against lefty this year. I don't see this being a spot where Urias really gives up many runs, and if he does, then so be it. But I think the run prevention should be there. The strikeout should definitely be there in this matchup, and there's definitely some win equity as well because this Dodgers lineup is just so good. They can always provide run support for whoever's pitching for them. So I like over 36.5 fantasy points for Julio Urias today. Just targeting the friendly matchup here. The Brewers, with how bad they've been against lefties, I think it's a really good spot for Urias. So that's our second play for today, and then third and final play. Another guy in a very friendly matchup is going to be Luis Castillo, and we're taking his over 39.5 fantasy score going up against the Angels. So the Angels, they're another team I've just been picking on all season. They have a terrible lineup, and they strike out a ton. So far this year against right-handed pitching, the Angels lead the league with a 26.7% K rate, and their offensive numbers are just, they're bad. 24th in batting average. The Angels are 26th in on-base percentage. In terms of slugging, they rank, let's see where they rank. They're about middle of the pack in slugging. But in terms of OPS, they're 19th. ISO, the Angels are, let's see where they are in ISO. They're 10th in ISO. But we got to think, some of these games, or most of these games were with Mike Trout. Obviously, Mike Trout's been out of the lineup for like the last month or two. So let's take a look at like the last 30 days. Obviously, this is without Mike Trout. Last 30 days, the Angels still have a very high K rate, 24.5% K rate. And their offensive numbers are, still bad. 26th in batting average. In terms of on-base percentage, they're 22nd. Slugging, they're 19th. WRC plus, the Angels rank 21st. It's just a bad lineup in general. This is not a lineup that you really fear. Like, Shohei Ohtani's the one guy that you fear in that Angels lineup, but Rengifo's had a good season, but you just don't really get scared about many hitters in that Angels lineup, and there's just so many strikeouts up and down that Angels lineup, and Luis Castillo's a guy that does have good strikeout stuff. 26.1% K rate so far this season. He's been pitching really, really well lately, especially since he got traded to the Mariners. But just over his last few starts, I wanted to pull up his game log. So Luis Castillo, he's gotten 40 fantasy points or more now in, I believe, 7 straight starts. He had 61 fantasy points against the Cubs, 40 fantasy points against the Braves, 46 against Tampa Bay, 46 against the Yankees, 46 against the Marlins, and then his last 2 starts have been against the Yankees, 45 and 49 fantasy points. So Castillo, he has been pitching really, really well lately. 40-plus fantasy points now in 7 straight starts. He's got at least 6 strikeouts in all those starts. He's gone at least 6 innings in all those starts, and he's also gotten a quality start in all those starts. Against this Angels lineup that's just really weak and strikes out a ton, this is definitely a spot we should expect Castillo to be able to rack up strikeouts, and I don't really get worried about him giving up many runs here. Maybe he gives up 1 or 2 runs, but I think 6 innings, getting a quality start with probably 6, 7, 8 strikeouts and maybe 1 or 2 runs allowed, that seems pretty doable for Castillo. It's going to be hard for him to get a win because Shohei Ohtani is going to be pitching for the Angels today. Obviously, Ohtani has been amazing this season when he's been pitching. He's been a tough guy to hit off of, so I don't know if the Mariners are going to be able to put up runs against Ohtani, if they're really going to be able to get Castillo some run support. So I would think Castillo's chances of getting a win today are not super high, but the matchup is just so good. The strikeout stuff is definitely there for Castillo, or the strikeout upside is there in this matchup because of how much the Angels strike out. And their lineup in general is a weak one. It's not one that you really fear. It's not one that you should expect to put up many runs against Castillo, and especially with how well Castillo has pitched lately. I think getting 40 fantasy points against this Angels team is easily doable for him. He's gotten 40 plus fantasy points now in back-to-back starts against the Yankees. If he can get 49 fantasy points against the Yankees, I think he can get 40 fantasy points against the Angels. So that's what I'm liking for today, guys. We got 3 plays for this Monday slate. There's definitely some more stuff I like for today, but I am going to save that for Patreon members. If you guys do want access to the additional Prizepicks plays that I'm on for every day, I do provide those over on Patreon. So if you want to check out the Patreon, as always, it is linked down below in the description. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your support. Hit that like button. Before you do get out of here, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Make sure to check out Prizepicks as well if you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet. Get over there, sign up. Make sure when you sign up, use promo code NOAH, and they will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. Good luck tonight, guys. Thanks as always for watching the videos. I hope you did enjoy, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.